السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين أما بعد. My fellow brothers and sisters in Islam, we in Malaysia feel very sorry to remember the plight of our brothers and sisters in the state of Palestine. They not only have to continue to face a very difficult life, their lands in Jerusalem and the West Bank continue to be colonized for so long with all forms of oppression and violence by the Israeli Zionist regime. The Palestinians in Gaza continue to be violently attacked by the Israeli Zionist regime. Their residential buildings were bombed. Many Palestinians have lost their lives and been injured. Women and children are no exception. As far as we are all concerned, the Israeli Zionist regime once again carried out aggression and violent attacks on Palestinians, starting with an attack on the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third Muslim holy site since May 7 to 21, followed by an Israeli military airstrike on the Peninsula Gaza since May 10, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia is closely following the latest developments that are taking place against our brothers in the state of Palestine, especially the inhumane attacks by the Israeli regime in the Gaza Strip and their atrocities committed against the Palestinian people in the West Bank. To date, it is reported that more than hundreds of Palestinians have been killed and hundreds more injured as a result of the Israeli regime's inhumane attacks. This cruel and outrageous attack is very disturbing to Muslims. Indeed, the heinous yet accursed act of the Israeli army, in particular the bombing, shelling and the destruction of property without any consideration and mercy, which are being committed against the Palestinian people, must be strongly condemned by the whole world. Israel's attack on the Palestine is an act that violates international law, human rights law, international humanitarian law. The Charter of the United Nations, UN, is a war crime in violation of the Fourth Geneva Convention of 1949. I strongly believe that the peace-loving Malaysians hold fast to the position that are no strong reason for the disproportionate, arbitrary and extreme use of force against the Palestine and strongly reject the Israeli regime's heinous action against the Palestinian people. In order to show our unequivocal support for Palestine, we must agree to explain to the world Malaysia's stance on the Israeli regime's inhuman action against the Palestinian people. Today, we also share the same view so that the international community, especially the United Nations Security Council, to act immediately to stop the violence of the Israeli regime and save the lives of the Palestinian people. I, humbly like other Malaysians, deeply grieve that regret the inability of the international community, especially the United Nations Security Council, to immediately stop the Israeli regime's violence against Palestine. To date, the UN Security Council has not issued any statement on the current situation in Palestine due to opposition from the United States of America. Nevertheless, Malaysia will continue to work to call on the international community, especially the United Nations Security Council, to act immediately to force Israel to stop its attacks on the Palestinian people. I would like to reiterate the principled stand of all Muslims who have always consistently given solid support to Palestine and the struggle of its people, whether in terms of politics, economy, as well as morals. The best solution to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict can only be reached through the negotiation to ensure lasting regional peace, security, and stability. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia will continue to support all efforts to achieve a just and lasting solution, in particular through negotiation involving relevant parties based on international law and relevant United Nations resolution. I would also like to thank and welcome the concern of non-governmental organizations, NGOs in Malaysia, as well as Malaysians who have always helped the Palestinian people. All the efforts and contribution of the brothers and sisters are very meaningful to the Palestinian people. Let us pray for the well-being of the Palestinian people who are now being oppressed by the Israeli regime. Hopefully, the Palestinian people will get protection from the tyranny of the Israeli regime, and the illegal Israeli aggression on the Palestinian land will soon end. وبالله التوفيق والهداية. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.